Other package, state government appoints 5 new permanent secretaries into the service. Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba communities and building materials dealers declare support for Dum Emmanuel. Lions Club International District 404 lauds the Prime State Government for support during 2014 convention. And on the international scene, Kolinda Grabar-Kitarović emerges first female president of Croatia. Details of these and more in a moment. So very good morning to you. Welcome to KBC 45 News at Dawn. My name is Agnes Udo King Brown. 5 new permanent secretaries have been appointed by the government, among them the Director General of the Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation. Others are Ms. Udo Hilary Sobara, Afyong S. Okpo, Mrs. Ekanum Albert Atta, and Mrs. Stella Nsima Etwapa. A release signed by the Head of Civil Service, Mrs. Cecilia Odoesen, states that the appointments have been approved by the State Private. According to the release, swearing in of the new permanent secretaries is fixed for today, Tuesday 13th January 2015, at the Executive Council chambers of the new governor's office. Time is 10 o'clock in the morning. More groups have continued to declare their support to the PDP governorship candidate in the state, Mr. Dum Emmanuel. Among the groups are Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo communities, as well as building materials dealers and members of National Association of Automobile Technicians of Nigeria, who drum up support of Mr. Dum Emmanuel as the next governor of the state. The group who visited Mr. Dum Emmanuel at his campaign office spoke through their leaders, Alhaji Aliyu Umaru Mayo, Sunday Ogunlogu, Elder Emmanuel Chukunsi, Mrs. Akaita Collins Umoha, representing Igbo women, and Elder Bong Ubud, leader of Uyo Building Material Dealers Association. They congratulated the PDP flag bearer for emerging victorious during the party primaries and vowed to vote massively for him in the forthcoming governorship election. The group expressed happiness that a member of the business community is flying the PDP governorship flag in the state, noting that with Dum Emmanuel as governor come May 2029, the private sector will be rejuvenated.
Somebody I took the government. The first thought I man, we know business people, myself, I will talk to people to put you for us to see a change, better change than what we saw today. And I want to assure you that we are going to work very hard. Even though we know that this election to come May 29, you are there for the inauguration.
Mr. Dum Emmanuel, who received a delegation at his campaign office, thanked them for the decision to come together in support of his gubernatorial ambition, saying that he was humbled by the show of solidarity. The PDP governorship candidate promised to sustain the legacy of free and compulsory education of the current administration and commended Governor Akpabio for his good leadership of the state. He promised to create a value chain for the growth of the private sector through wealth and job creations, and vowed to operate an open-door administration where both indigenous and residents will feel a sense of belonging. While promising to ensure that the state enjoyed the benefits of a cosmopolitan city, the chartered accountant said that with the dwindling revenue from oil, the state needs a governor with creativity and capacity to drive an independent economy to yield returns on investments.
That people somewhere need to sit down and carefully plan over your own life. To start with, as of today, we are working on such an empowerment program. The Commissioner for Finance is not here. We have actually corroborated what I'm saying. We are working with Central Bank to ensure that the small and medium scale fund that is going to come into this state, even though all other states, they don't tell them, might not get what we are getting. We'll try and make sure that that money gets into your hands and the hands of the women.
Mr. Moses Ekpo, the PDP governorship running mate, in his remarks, commended the group for the solidarity and described Mr. Demi Mangal as a man who will not disappoint the state.
The man of truth. If you know his antecedents, as I believe all of you know, you're talking about Zenith Bank, what would a trusted manager of Zenith Bank for the world come to do?
The state chapter of the People's Democratic Party has released a campaign timetable and names of party members that will serve on the campaign council. The chairman of the publicity committee of the campaign council, Mr. Nyakanomana, in a statement, quoted the state chairman of the PDP, Obong Paul Ekbo, as stating that the campaign council list is made up of party members who are capable of delivering on the 2015 project. The campaign council, Mr. Mad indicated, gave considerations to various factors such as capacity, resourcefulness, logistics, spread and time frame of the general elections in selecting members into the campaign team. The campaign council is due for inauguration by party chairman Obong Paul Ekbo today, Tuesday, January 13, 2015, at the party secretariat in Uyo. The inauguration will be followed by the flag-off of campaign on Friday, January 16, 2015, at Akwa International Stadium, Uyo, where flags will be presented to the PDP candidates for various positions in the general elections. The campaign trail will traverse the entire state and climax in Uyo, and party candidates have been urged to do their best at ensuring full sensitization, mobilization and participation of party members and electorate in the campaign activities. A new storybook for the young, titled Angela's Leproshan, written by 13-year-old Maureen Anthony Achibong of Enioford, has been presented to the public in Uyo. The book presentation attracted an array of personalities from around the state, including the authors of colleagues, students of the Tav Ivory Schools at Denabak. Bethel Okoli was at St. John's Catholic Parish in Enioford, venue of the book launch, for the following story.
The book launch was witnessed by people from all walks of life, from within and outside the state capital, including Catholic priests and faithful, teachers, businessmen, as well as the SS1 classmates of the author at the Tower of Ivory School, Abak. Addressing the guests before unveiling the 24-page storybook, the chairman on the occasion and proprietor of Monef Kiddies School, where Maureen had her pre-primary and primary education, Dr. Fabian Eshiet, expressed happiness over the literary prowess of his former pupil and congratulated Maureen for utilizing her talent through the storybook for the use of humanity. He encouraged other young minds who are as talented to put their talents to proper use.
I am proud of Maureen, and I thank the Tower of Ivory School for continuing the good job that was begun with Maureen in Monef Kiddies School.
The chairman of the Board of Governors of the Tower of Ivory Schools, retired DIG Udom Ekbu Udom, who was accompanied by his wife and director of schools, Lady Dorothy, praised the parents of Maureen, Mr. and Mrs. Anthony Achibong, for giving her the proper ambience for academic growth. He also appreciated the teachers who have groomed the author over the years for a proper academic upbringing. He hoped that Maureen's writing would encourage her colleagues to explore their academic minds and to birth where best suited.
I'm very happy with Maureen, my student. The chairman said to use her time nicely. Continue to use the final time carelessly, by gossiping, by sleeping. So these long games are time very nicely writing this book.
Reviewing the book, Mrs. Idawensit Etrudo, who was appreciative of the young author's effort, explained what Leprechaun was: a legendary dwarfish figure capable of revealing hidden secrets. In her response, the author Miss Maureen Achibong lauded her teachers from the nursery, primary up to the present secondary school, and thanked her parents for their guidance and support, praying God to bless them abundantly for giving her the best of education so far.
I express my feelings to the world by writing this small story that will help the world. My advice for students always is that they should believe in God Almighty, and all will be well, that there is no use of going to any spirit for power.
AKBC News spoke with the parents of the author and the director of her current school on their assessments of her efforts.
Seeing my student launch is a lesson for all other students.
I am very, very fortunate for this occasion that my daughter has made me to be proud today. She has picked me up.
My child of 18 years, the right hospital. I'm to encourage her. So I'm happy.
Bethel Okoli reporting.
The chairman, local organizing committee, even 2014 multiple districts 404 convention of Lions Clubs International, Mrs. Helena Kefre, has appreciated the government and Governor Godswill Akpabio for standing by the association and the 2014 multiple district convention held in Uyo. The club, in a meeting to review activities during its convention, noted the numerous support that the state government has given towards the hosting of its convention. The story is here presented.
Lion Helen Ekefre said that without the cooperation of Akwa Ibom government and Governor Akpabio in particular, the success recorded by the convention would not have been. She said that the enabling environment created and the provision of infrastructure made the hosting of the convention less cumbersome. She said with not less than 3,000 lions from across the country, the security presence enhanced good conduct and behavior of people around the venues of activities throughout the convention. While thanking Lions, Leos, and the public for cooperating during the 2014 convention, Mrs. Ekefre said Lions clubs will continue to partner relevant group in meeting the objectives of the association.
I extend our deep appreciation to the government and the people of Akwa Ibom State. You see, this is a convention that needed the government, and the governor was there to grace the occasion by himself with his entourage at Le Meridian for the banquet. And he was also given the greatest award ever. So we can say thank you to the governor and the people of Akwa Ibom State. They did marvelously.
The first Vice District Governor of the Association, Lion Nse Kefre, said that the government of Chief Akpabio had done a lot to ensure the success of the first ever convention to be held in Uyo. He said the granting of audience by Chief Akpabio to the Council of Governors of Lions Clubs at short notice portrayed the importance Governor Akpabio attaches to the service of humanity. Elder Kefre said Chief Akpabio has contributed a lot to the human capital development in the state through the provision of basic amenities and other programs, which he noted is indicative of the governor's Lions heart. Elder Kefre said, as a progressive Melvin Jones fellow, the governor will continue to deliver on his promises.
Well, from 2014 came, and you will agree with me that it was a huge success.
Also speaking, the chairman literacy and student contest, Lion Ephraim Akwawo, said the turnout of lions from other parts of the country signifies the level of development Akwa Ibom has attained. A former region chairman in the then Cross River State, Lion Cricket Ekpa, said the contribution of the state governor, Lion Ekefre and Mrs. Ekefre, brought huge success to the event.
The news continues after the break. Stay with us.
Udom Gabriel Emmanuel is elected as the flag bearer of PDP for the gubernatorial election come 2015.
By the grace of the Almighty God, I hereby give you the flag of the PDP, Udom Emmanuel, to fly this in Akwa Ibom State, to come back as the governor under PDP, our flag. Thank you, may God bless you and give you good success.
Udom is right and fair. Udom is the best. For Akwa Ibom said, Udom is right and fair. Behold our next governor.
Welcome back. The State Police Command has observed with dismay the destruction of posters and billboards of candidates in the ongoing political campaigns. The command, in a statement signed by the Police Public Relations Officer, Mr. Tom Dixon, described the action as counterproductive, saying that it is against the spirits of fair play. The police want people who indulge in such acts to desist forthwith, now that violent elections is that of the every citizen of the state. The command restates its resolve to keep Akwa Ibom State free from all manners of election violence, adding that it will prosecute perpetrators. During an inquiry of the Directorate of Programs, AKBC, and Nielsen Akwan, a staff of First Bank PLC Ecom branch, have consented to live as husband and wife for the rest of their lives. The marriage was consummated at the Apostolic Church at the Motup Assembly, Calabar, and was watched by relations, friends, colleagues, among others. Livingstone Daniel takes the story from here.
A pastor in Yang Enya said that marriage is an institution ordained by God. He urged Irayan and Aniesen to endeavor to keep their marriage vows in order to attract divine blessings. The clergyman who spoke on the theme, the foundation of a successful marriage, and took his text from Genesis 2 verse 18 and other biblical portions to support his text, said Christ is the foundation of a good marriage, stressing that if one deviates from the word of God, such marriage is bound to collapse. While describing jealousy as positive in marriage, Pastor Enya said it is the defense mechanism that God placed in marriage to preserve it. He stressed the need for forgiveness, warning the couple against keeping a record of offenses for each other. Joining Irayan and Aniesen as husband and wife, shortly after the couple had exchanged their marriage rings and vows, Pastor Nyangenya enjoined them to always solve their problems themselves rather than involve a third party.
Have taken you to be my lawful wedded wife. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost. Akarawa Irayan and Akarawa Aman and Aniesen have consented together in holy wedlock. I, therefore, the officiating minister, pronounce that from this day, the 10th day of January 2015, both of them become husband and wife.
Service also featured signing of marriage register and presentation of the marriage certificate. At the reception, which took place at the Calabar Municipal Council grounds, the Managing Director of Sepet Investment Limited, Calabar, Chief Christian Akinotu, who chaired the occasion, tasked the couple to allow their thinking to reflect their new status. The reception featured cutting of cake, feeding of bride and groom, as well as nuptial dance. Groom Mrs. Idorine Ekwere thanked his in-laws and friends for their support and cooperation towards the success of the marriage.
I want to say that the joy which brought us together, myself and my wife, will keep us, and it shall continue to radiate. By the time it radiates, so shall it build in our hearts a tenderness, tenderly drowsiness, and we shall continue to show the world that we are here to celebrate as an example, a model of a couple.
The traditional marriage earlier took place on Thursday, 8 January 2015 at Afagise, Ono, in the Benibom local government area. The ceremony featured the presentation and acceptance of the couple by their in-laws, as well as blessings and advice by the family members. Livingstone Daniel reporting.
Congratulations there to Mr. and Mrs. Idorine Ekwere. St. Mary's Primary School in Kana in Etinan local government area Saturday became a beehive as residents of the community and its environs gathered to watch the final march of the 2015 Kana Unity Cup competition. The football match played between Ikore Fiongunam Mobile Football Club and Action Football Club of Asak saw the former emerging as the winners with a lone goal. Pastor Andrew Wanta, the owner of the club, commended the organizers of the competition for engaging the youths wisely, thereby keeping them away from crime. He commended the spirit of unity and oneness exhibited by the villagers and their teams and asked them to keep it up. Pastor Wanta also commended the participating teams for displaying the spirit of sportsmanship during the competition and hoped that the competition will help expose their talents to the outside world. The club donor commended Governor Godswill Akpabio for investing in sports development through the building of a stadium of an international standard.
Decided to make sure get the active youth in this community engaged. Yamana nam na young that exercise in the mamo. Amana say na mo wo
The chairman of the organizing committee of the competition, Mr. Nsudo, on behalf of the participating teams, commended the cup dinner and promised that the tempo of the competition will be sustained. He pledged the loyalty of the youth to the state government and lauded Pastor Andrew Wanta for his interest in the development of the community.
I wish to thank him, the donor, for his financial involvement that really caused this competition to get this successful end. We wish God, on behalf of the Sport Council of Nkana community, ask God to reward him abundantly in Jesus' mighty name.
High points of the competition was the presentation of the trophy and prizes to the winners, the first and second runners-up, and outstanding players in the competition. Stay tuned for the news on the international scene after the break. Stay with us. In our first report on the international scene this morning, bring you the story of Ms. Kolinda Grabar-Kitarovic, the opposition challenger who has become the first female president of Croatia, even as she won by the narrowest of margins. Also, world leaders last Sunday joined millions of the people of France in a march in Paris and other parts of the country in a show of solidarity after last week's killings in a deadly attack in the French capital. The international report, compiled by Chris Nkam, is presented by Mercy Ekere.
A conservative populist, Kolinda Grabar-Kitarovic, became Croatia's first female president after beating incumbent president Iva Josipovic in a runoff election. According to Croatia's Electoral Commission, Grabar-Kitarovic won with 50.54% of the votes, while the outgoing president had 49.46% of the votes. Grabar-Kitarovic won by a slight margin of about 21,000 votes. Contender Josipovic conceded defeat, saying Grabar-Kitarovic won in a democratic competition. Grabar-Kitarovic is a former foreign minister, former ambassador to Washington, and an ex-assistant to North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO's Secretary General. About 4 million people took part in the Unity March across France in a show of solidarity after last week's killings. Among the millions that took part in the march were more than 40 world leaders who marched, linking arms, as well as the families of the victims.
We're here to demonstrate that we all stand for the values of democracy, of freedom of expression, of tolerance.
The killings began on Wednesday, January 7, 2015, when terrorists stormed French satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo after the magazine had received threats over the years for publishing controversial cartoons depicting the Prophet Muhammad. An editor, cartoonist, a proofreader, maintenance worker, and 2 police officers made up the 12 victims that were killed by the 2 now-dead suspects, Sherif and Saeed Kawuchi, 2 brothers of Algerian origin. A police officer was killed the next day in a Paris suburb. 4 Jewish hostages were again killed on Friday in kosher grocery store Paris by a gunman, Ahmedi Koulibaly, who was killed by special police forces. France has stepped up security nationwide after the attacks. In Pakistan, schools across the country are reopening after an extended break prompted by an attack on December 16, 2014 by the Taliban. The Peshawar Army Public School, where the attack that killed more than 150 people, had pupils and teachers returning for the first time to the school since the attack. A ceremony was held to remember the victims of the Taliban attack.
I feel very much G'd up again. Even at that time, I was feeling very strong. We wanted to get back in, and now we have the opportunity.
It's 2 weeks since Air Asia plane flight 8501 crashed into the Java Sea and killed the 162 people on board. Indonesian Navy divers retrieved the black box flight data recorder from the wreck, a major step towards unraveling the cause of the crash that killed all 162 people on board. The second black box containing the cockpit's voice recorder has been located about 20 meters away from where the flight data recorded was found, but divers have not been able to get it. So far, some 48 bodies have been recovered.
Thank you, Mercy. That's it on a foreign scene. You can also watch AKBC TV News online by logging on to akbconline.org or follow us on Twitter at AKBC45U, on Facebook at AKBC Channel 45. So in the news, another look at the top stories. The state government has appointed 5 new permanent secretaries into the service. Among them is the Director General of the Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation, Pastor Praise Okun. Others are Ms. Udoy Hilary Sobara, Afyong S. Okbo, Mrs. Ekanam Albert Atta, and Mrs. Stella Nsema Itlopan. Released by the head of civil service, Mrs. Cecilia Odoisian, indicated that appointments have been approved by Governor Godswill Akpabio and that they are to be sworn in today by 10 a.m. Also